lot to talk about today. The Social Security Fairness Act. Some people out there are getting some more benefits. We'll talk about who that is and protective filing for those people. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to be getting extra benefits, and customer service is going to get a lot worse going forward. You thought customer service of Social Security was bad before. Just wait. We're going to talk about drug costs, Medicare, and I'm working on a couple of stories about flying cows and sneaky politics. Flying cows? You already know about sneaky politics, but should be interested in the flying cows part. It's an attempt to save Social Security with helium in cows. Go figure. But I'm going to work on that story. I'll bring it to you the next few weeks. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country, and now I'm helping you get all the benefits you earned. And I am also trying to make sure those benefits don't get cut in the future. So those are my two missions in my early retirement here. I put this out. Please reach out to your politicians and ask them a couple of questions. One is, what do you think about raising the FICA cap so we save Social Security going forward so we don't get those cuts? What are you doing to improve customer service? And what are you doing to make sure don't get cuts to your check in the future? So there's the Senator Representative Capital Switchboard, the presidents, get on there, call your local congressperson, your senator, House of Representatives, call the president, get on their social media and say, hey, we need to protect Social Security. We should have done this 20, 30, 40 years ago, but we're down to the line right now. We really, really need to act. I've already had some people contact their politicians, and their response back was just basically generic form letters. So we really need to get these people to act. I'm going to keep on them. So we need to keep on them. So to make sure our checks aren't, cut in the future. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, the Social Security Fairness Act was just signed by President Biden. As regular viewers to my channel know, that I 100% disagree with it. I think it was all political theater on both sides, Republican and Democrat. President Trump supported it. President Biden supported it. But it was 100% political theater. And anyway, but I've already talked about that enough. But for those people, those 3% of government employees that did not pay into Social Security in their main jobs, they did pay into Social Security in other jobs. Even though I don't agree with it, it's the law now. I'm a Marine Corps sergeant, have to follow the law. And so if you are one of those, I would recommend contacting Social Security. If you already are receiving your Social Security and it's been wept or GPO'd, you know who you are, then you're fine. You're already in the system. You should be good. But if you filed for benefits and turned out that, particularly in terms of GPO, you found out that you're full offset, and so you decided not to file, please reach out to Social Security Administration, call the 800 number, schedule an appointment, because that establishes what's called protective filing. Because those people, those 3%, are not only going to get more money going forward, they're also going to get a year of retroactive pay. So it's good that you put your name in the hat, and that way, when the retroactivity comes in, you'll get that too. So it's important that you get the protective filing. So just call in and say, hey. If you don't know whether you're fully offset or whatever the case may be, it's a good time to go ahead and get in there and get that protective filing. And because of this, because of the Social Security Fairness Act, there's going to be, and again, 2.73 million people, a lot more than that probably, that are calling up Social Security, going online, going to the local offices. Unfortunately, it's a reservation-only system now. Politicians have choked Social Security to such a great extent over the last few decades. They're trying to, there's a certain amount of politicians that are trying to drown Social Security in the bathtub so they can give it to their friends on Wall Street, the billionaires, give that money to them. And some people out there says, yes, give it to Wall Street. And most of us, though, would say no. But that is one of the long-term strategies, is to make Social Security customer service so terrible, so awful, so atrocious that when they come in, they say, well, anybody can do better in Social Security, so why don't we just give it to, Wall Street? And you say, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. But because of these 3 million people that are going to be reaching out to Social Security now, customer service for everybody else is going to be far, far worse. If you're going to file for a retirement claim, then it's going to take longer to get your case adjudicated. If you're filing for disability, it already takes 6 to 9 months. if you're lucky to get the initial decision, if you're filing survivor benefits, if you're calling up. I get people call it all the time, and they say, they have to wait on hold for 3 hours, and then they get hung up after being on hold for 3 hours. But that's excellent customer service as compared to what's going to happen next. This is not going to be good. And because of that, more people are going to lose their benefits because they call in and they miss the date at the end of the month. They miss that protective filing. They don't get the benefits they need. They don't get the benefits at the right time. They lose a month, 2 months, 3 months of checks. And again, I would argue this is a conscious decision by those trying to destroy Social Security to prevent you from getting access to the money you earned, the benefits you earned. So please reach out to your politicians and say, hey, we are smarter than you. We know what you're doing, and we're not going to let you do it. So reach out to them and report back to me, and come back into live and say, hey, I reached out to this particular person and they said this, that, and the other. I'm also going to be doing. I want to. Some of the people that responded to me and said, hey, I reached out to the politicians. Here's what they said. I'm going to do a kind of I guess, a master class on Social Security political BS. Some of the stuff they come back, it's, hey, we're going to solve Social Security. We're fixing Social Security by getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. That's all BS. There is fraud, waste, and abuse. Obviously, every company, every agency has a little bit of fraud, waste, and abuse. But that's nothing that's needed to save Social Security to prevent the cuts going forward. So I'm going to do kind of a master class, and that way, when politicians respond back to you with A, B, C, and D, you will have a perfect response to to tally their debate there. All right, so more people are going to lose benefits, and please share, subscribe, like these videos. This is what I'm doing in my semi-retirement. Is if Social Security doesn't pick up the phone, if they're not helping you strategize, make sure you're getting all the benefits you're entitled to, you're eligible for. Then that's why I've made close to 1,000 videos, and this is also a live Q&A. So once I go down the rest of this list here, I am going to open it up for a Q&A, and let's see if we can find some people some money out there. Okay, drug costs, a big thing on 2025. The drug plans have changed quite a bit for 2025 based on the Inflation Reduction Act. If you have if you had to get prior authorization for a particular drug, don't expect it to hold over on the next year, particularly if, well, almost 100%. If you changed companies, don't think that, well, Medicare is Medicare is Medicare. It is Medicare, original Medicare, but you're talking about prescription drug, the Part D plan, and that's administered by a private company. So if you have a particular drug that you got a prior authorization for last year and then you changed your company, then guess what? You'll have to go through the prior authorization process again. So make sure you do that sooner rather than later, so you're not denied the drug you need. And remember, these companies, that's their MO. They go ahead and deny, and because they figure a lot of people aren't going to fight it, but my audience always fights it, right? All right. So, and there's also this thing called smoothing that's new for 2025. So, if you have a very expensive drug this year, the max you can pay out of pocket is $2,000. But if you have a very expensive drug that costs $2,000 in the first month or two, and you're like, great, $2,000 max, that's going to help me out a lot, but I have to come up with that money in January or February. Call up your prescription drug company and say, smooth me. So it's basically, if you have to pay $2,000, but you have to pay that in January, they can smooth you and divide it by 12 months. So the $2,000 divided by 12 months, and you can pay a little bit every month rather than having to pay it one time. So that's the brand new thing. So make sure you reach out to people that you know are struggling to pay for the prescription drugs and tell them to get smoothed. All right, and this is also the beginning of Medicare OEP, the open enrollment period. So if you have a Medicare Advantage, predominantly a Medicare Advantage plan, or if you want to go back to original Medicare, this is kind of the chance you can do it. So January, February, March. So if you switch to a Medicare Advantage plan, from October 15th to December 7th, and you go into your doctor and say, well, we don't take this plan, or you find out, you actually read the details and you find out this plan is terrible. You have one opportunity to go ahead and switch. If you switch in January, your new plan will start in February. If you switch in February, your new plan will start in March 1st. So that you have another opportunity. You have kind of a a do back, a mulligan, whatever you want to put it. So you can reach out to my partners at Chapter and they can help you out. They're completely free and they help people throughout the country. Okay, flying cows and sneaky politics. Yeah, there is some crazy ideas out there to shore up Social Security going forward because as regular viewers know that we're going to get cuts here. As of right now, actually, it's a little bit worse because of that Social Security Fairness Act passed. But as of last week, the real numbers haven't come out yet, but we're looking at about 2034. And in 2034, your benefits are going to be cut by 21%. And people always think, well, I'll be grandfathered in because I've been receiving benefits forever. No, 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 no. There's, as of the law is right now, everybody gets cut. So 21%. And 2034, that's not too far away. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But actually, it's probably going to be a bit early because of that Social Security Fairness Act. It's probably going to be about 2033, and then probably another 22. Another rather than 21, it'll probably be 22 or 23%. The numbers aren't out yet because that costs $200 billion for that Social Security Fairness Act. If the next president gets some of the stuff he's talking about, then it's going to be cuts a lot sooner and a lot deeper. So we need to choose, we need to vote, we need to reach out to our politicians and say, what are you doing to make sure that doesn't happen? And there's a politician that just came up with a new Congress, and his solution is to have cows pay for your Social Security. So I'll talk about that. Yeah, flying cows and helium, and yeah, so it's not such a crazy idea, but it I think it's more of a distraction than anything else. And then I'll talk about another one about a week or so about a kind of a last minute kind of sneaky way to another method to give your money over to Wall Street, but I'll talk about that. A lot of people that ask me, "Hey, the new president said he's going to stop Social Security taxes. Not FICA taxes, not what you pay out of out of your check, your W-2 from wherever you work, but taxes on Social Security. So if you're receiving Social Security, some people pay taxes on that. About 40-50% of people don't pay taxes on their Social Security benefits, but others do. And the president said he's going to end that. So people have been reaching out to me and say, well, do I have to pay taxes this time, coming up in April? As of right now, yes. Whether he's going to pass that or whether he's able to pass that, that's an entirely different thing. I personally, I would agree that Social Security benefits should have never been taxed. They started that in the 1980s. But if they're not taxed, that's one of the reasons why the trust fund is going to run out earlier, is because that income from those people paying that Social Security tax goes into the trust fund. So it's when you pay your taxes on your Social Security benefits, the IRS allocates that immediately to the Social Security trust fund. So if there's no more taxes on Social Security, which is awesome, beautiful, we like that. But it's also going to hurt the people, everybody else, because the cuts are going to happen sooner and they're going to be more. And the people that don't pay taxes are actually losing both times, right? So, all right. I made today's breaking news as quickly as possible because I was not live yesterday. So let's go ahead and spend the next 40 minutes or so answering any and all of your questions and all things Social Security, retirement, and all the rest of it. All right, let's see. You got a lot of people saying, yeah, Ed does not provide tax information. Yes, I do not do taxes. I've been trying to avoid the IRS for decades. I'm not doing a very good job and keep trying to cancel my subscription. Okay, Ed, I will be 69 this February. I went to file for Social Security 2 days ago and it said my 2024 income has not been reported yet. Should I start the filing process anyway for benefits or wait a bit? No, yeah, you haven't, it's only the ninth or so. So yeah, your employer has until the end of January or something to report everything, get your 1099s and W-2s all together. No, if you're going to go ahead and file, if you want to start your benefits in February, just go ahead and file. No issues whatsoever. And what happens is this happens, whether you're 69, 79, 89, whatever the case may be, you go ahead and start your benefits. And then when you file your taxes in March, April, or whatever, you talk to your buddies at the IRS, you pay your ounce of flesh. Then the IRS notifies Social Security and Social Security looks at your earnings from last year for 2024 there, Tom, and says, oh, okay, is this one of Tom's high 35 years of earnings? And if it's one of your high 35 years of earnings, they throw out the low one, put in the new one, do their calculation. And if it increases your benefits, they'll give you an increase, and they give it to you retroactively. So if you started your benefits in February, and the 35-year increase takes some time. In my live Q&A, a lot of people say, hey, I just got a bump in October. What's this bump for? Oh, it's basically from rework last year. So sometimes it will take to March or April, May, June, July, August, September. It might take a while to get that, but be assured that if it increases your benefit, they will go back to day one. So if you started receiving benefits in January, February, they'll give you a kind of a lump sum check for that extra benefit. So yeah, go ahead and file. Yeah, good luck getting in right now, because it's oh yeah, hungry ghost. Yesterday I called Social Security, was on hold for 7.5 hours. So what do you do when you're on hold for 7.5 hours with Social Security? You sit there, you open up your laptop, and you reach out to these people. Um, you can go on to your senators. So everybody has two senators, and they have one House representative that represents their particular district, right? So you go on. So when you're sitting there on hold forever and ever and ever, please go on to their websites. And every um, congressperson has on their website, I need help with a federal agency. So I would recommend opening that. Say, hey, I need help with Social Security Administration. What help do you need? I need to answer the damn phones. I need to adjudicate my claim. You can be a little bit more politically, anyway, nicer than that, perhaps, or not. But anyway, and what are you doing, to make sure the cuts aren't happening in the future? What are you doing, to improve customer service? And if they say something, some kind of a BS thing about, oh, we're going after fraud, waste, and abuse, or something like that. Okay, that's a drop in a bucket. What are you doing the other 98% of the issue, right? You're solving 2% of the issue. So I'll talk about that. Yeah. So anyway, no one answered. I gave up. See, yeah, after 7.5 hours. So if it was like the end of the month or something like that, so I would call again. Unfortunately, you have to call again. But if it was the end of the month and you weren't able to get through until February, then what happens is you're not protected for January. Well, you are, because you're smart and you watch my channel. You know that when you finally get through in February, you say, hey, I tried to call y'all in January. So if I want my benefits to start in January, when I originally called you, I get to start my benefits in January because I was protected. It's not my fault you didn't answer your phone. I know it's not your fault you didn't answer your phone. It's politicians' fault for not, giving you the resources to answer the phone. So, yeah, that's the problem. That's why people are losing benefits. Yeah, we really need to do something. If I am on SDI, will I receive more from SSI by the time I retire at 67? Okay, SSI is the welfare-based program, so you're probably talking about just regular Social Security. No. So if you're on SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, you're basically receiving retirement, your high retirement benefit. So people, if you're 60 years old and you start your Social Security Disability Insurance, the amount you receive is as if you were receiving benefits at your full retirement age. So no, your benefits won't increase. It'll obviously increase because of COLA, and it also increase if you continue to work and pay into Social Security. Yes. Hello, Dr. Ed. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Will there be a lawsuit against Social Security Unfairness Act, or Trump is going to fix it? What Biden unfairly signed? Don't know. President Trump has been on record that he supports. He made a statement. I think it's some firefighter that asked him about it, and I think the response was, "You seem very compassionate, or very passionate about that law. So I support your passion." And that's the only thing I could really find. Yeah. I emailed my senator. She was receptive. Great. All right. Perfect. Let's see. Married 29 years. 2018 ex had full retirement age in EU only plan. EU, European Union. Not enough work credits at 57. Continue SSI disabled since 2019. I will be 63 soon. If I apply on X record, will I get 50% reduced? Yeah, if you file at 63, anytime you take benefits from Social Security early, retirement benefits, spouse benefits, survivor benefits, your benefits are almost always reduced. There's an exception in survivor benefits, but a very complicated exception in survivor benefits. But yeah, for regular old spouse benefits, if you take them early before your full retirement age, yes, they will be reduced. David, how about the small percentage from each bill passed from the politicians to go fund that way we tax the politicians? Yeah, I've heard some other people on social media come up with that solution, but that's just basically stealing from Paul to pay Peter, robbing Paul to pay Peter. Yes, it just comes out of the general funds, and the general funds are already what $37 trillion in debt. So yeah, that is a solution. It's. Um, Thanks to you and your program, I now am receiving an extra $300 per month with survivor benefits. See, Eileen, awesome. Thank you for letting us know. Yes. So thank you for adding to you and your program. And our program is the reason Eileen is able to get $300 extra a month is not because I'm sitting here, babbling on for an hour. Well, possibly that too. But 99% of it is because all those people out there that have been watching me have subscribed and shared and liked and stuff like that. And we've been teaching these crazy computer algorithm that this is important information. And that's how this information popped up on Eileen's feed. And she was able to watch me sit there and flap my gums for an hour. And she said, wait a second, I'm in that category. And she got some more money. So thank you, Eileen. And thank you to everybody out there that got that extra money for her. Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep it going. If you have a higher earning spouse take their own benefits at 62 and the lower earning spouse starts their benefit at 67, is the spousal benefit calculated on the higher earnings PIA or half of their age 62? It's always calculated no matter the spouse. The spouse's benefit from the higher wage earner is always calculated on that person's PIA, their primary insurance amount, which is their amount at their full retirement age. So if the higher wage earners, high benefit, full benefit amount at their full retirement age, their PIA, their primary insurance amount is $2,000, but they took it early, and now they're only receiving 1,700. It's always on the original amount. And this is a great question, Charles. So we need to get this out there. There's a lot of people out there that are not receiving the spouse benefits they're entitled to because they're looking at the wrong numbers. So you don't look at the MBA, you have to look at the PIA. So what that means is if you got a married couple and they're sitting there, in their sofa and saying, "Hey, I wonder if I can get any money off you. You don't wash the dishes, you don't cut the grass, but maybe I can get some money off you somehow." But I understand. Ed said your benefit has to be twice mine. So they each pull out their direct deposits and they say, well, I made this much and I made this much. Well, that's not twice much. So I guess I can't get any money yet. So go cut the grass. No, those are not the numbers you look at. You look at the original amount. You don't look at the reduced amount. You don't look at the amount after Medicare. You look at the amount at your full retirement age. And if it's kind of close and you're not sure whether there's, it's you look online and you see the benefit there and it looks kind of close, then I would probably call the 800 number, unfortunately sit on hold for 8 hours, and ask them the official PIA, the official benefit amount. um, and some people call and they say, well, yeah, I called up and they said it was only $4 more. So it didn't seem like it seemed like a waste of time to file a claim for $4 more, and so forget about it. I didn't want to go through the nightmare. No, please go through the nightmare. Do it. Um, why? Again, if it waits to get a little bit longer, but anyway, but why should you do it even if it's only a few dollars more? Because if you're on that person's record and when that person passes away, your benefits, if you're full retirement age, they will automatically convert to from regular spouse benefits to surviving spouse benefits. And sure, it's a nightmare now, but when you lose a spouse, you've got all kinds of other things to worry about, and you don't want to have to worry about Social Security. So get on that person's record, and that way that's one less thing you have to worry about when they pass. And unfortunately, that is a situation we will all shuffle off our mortal coil at one time or another. So Employer portion of FICA should be increased, which is a small indirect way of increasing the cap, providing all employers are rich and obviously make more than 178,000. Yeah, so Kala's talking about my recommendation for solving the cuts going forward is the fact a lot of people don't know that if probably everybody watching this, you're paying Social Security FICA tax on every dollar you make. But if you make over $176,000, you stop paying Social Security FICA tax on anything over $176,000. So we pay it on every dollar we make, but if you make over 176,000, they don't pay it anymore. So I say, and a lot of people say we just lift the cap. Unfortunately, that's not going to solve 100%. Right now, it's about 73% fix of the Social Security issues going forward. About 10 years ago, it was like 100% fix of it, but we keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And the longer we wait, our possible solutions get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And guess what? That is exactly the plan of politicians to wait for the crisis and kick the can down the road and ignore and ignore and ignore. And then one day they say, well, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. I guess we just have to give it to our billionaire buddies on Wall Street. And so we can get these awesome commissions and they can make commissions and they can fund our campaign. And we've fallen for it for the last few decades. And so now it's crunch time. Joyce, hey, look, I get $943 a month on SSDI. I paid a good amount in. I can't afford to rent a home. Make sure you watch my video I did on living on Social Security alone. I've done a few of them. My original one I did, the introduction was way too long. I apologize for that. So I redid it a couple of times. But look in my library. I've got like 1,000 videos. But you'll see, I just did another one. I redid it about a month ago, living on Social Security alone. And I go through about 50 different programs that might be able to help you out. But if you're only receiving 943, it sounds like you're receiving SSI possibly as well. Remember, if you're receiving SSI, you're probably eligible for Medicaid from the state to pay for your Part B premium, get your extra help with prescription drugs, and there's 48 other programs that may help you out. So make sure you watch that video, that longer video, and hopefully you find something in there that helps you out. Alex Lawson. Oh, Alex Lawson is awesome. We love Alex Lawson, Executive Director of Social Security Works, doing a phenomenal job. To said president, Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act into law was a good thing. Very disappointing. He was on the majority report. Yeah. He's got a lot of supporters. It's a political type thing. Yeah. The Social Security Fairness Act, rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater, they should have corrected and, it's an easy fix. It's an easy fix, but instead they decided to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and now it's unfair to the other 97%. So I seem to be the only one out there in social media, kind of truth to power. If you look at the actual think tanks that analyze this thing, they say they agree with me, but politicians and they just they want votes and they want to say that they protected Social Security, that they expanded Social Security as a kind of a political thing because the details are too complicated and people just give up and they say, oh, well, the person protected Social Security. So anyway, how does a senior who can't drive make a reservation for spousal benefits? You just call the 800 number. Call Social Security 800-772-1213 and you can file for benefits. For spousal benefits, not surviving spouse benefits, but regular spousal benefits, you should be able to do that online too if you have access to the internet. But if not, just call the 800 number. And it's important to do that as soon as possible. Here's another way people lose money is they say, I'll file for spouse benefits, but I guess I need, the marriage certificate and a divorce decree or something. I need proofs. So I'll go ahead and order those. And when I have those, then I'll call up. Nope, don't do that because you're going to lose benefits possibly. Call Social Security, schedule an appointment because right now you won't get your appointment for a month or two, probably if you're lucky. And then start getting your documentation because if you do it the other way, you're going to lose money. So set the appointment and then start getting your documents, whatever you think you need. But don't delay your appointment. When your appointment comes around and You say, "Well, I haven't got my marriage certificate, divorce decree yet, so I'll go ahead and cancel." No, 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 don't cancel. Just go ahead and keep the appointment because they might tell you that, "Oh yeah, no, you actually don't need that because of whatever, whatever, whatever." So schedule the appointment first. Same thing with disability. People file for disability. They say, "Well, I need to go see my doctor first, or I need to go get this medical record." No, file for disability and then do the other stuff later. All right, let's see. I received my husband's. He passed away in 2019. Are they going to cut it? If we let them cut it, absolutely they are going to cut it. Anywhere from 21, 22 to 33% or so. Yes. So, but that's why we're going to reach out and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're about 20 or 30 years late, but better late than never, right? Can you receive disability retirement and get approved for SSDI? So disability is SSDI. Are you asking whether you can get retirement benefits and disability benefits at the same time? If that is the question, then no, but you can file for those at the same time. And this is called a rib dib. So if you're under your full retirement age and disabled, unable to work because of your disability is going to last 12 months or longer, then what you do is you file for the disability claim. And because that takes months and months and months and months to get a response, then you can't, go without income. So people file for the early retirement benefits while they're waiting for their disability to be approved. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. I am 63 years old and collect child and care benefits from a spouse's record. I am a CPA. Am I subject to the 15 hours month limitations? If yes, is a 15 an average for year or calculated month to month? Yeah. So it's basically you're talking about you're receiving the child and care benefits and whether you're subject to the annual earnings limit. Yes, you are, and this year's the 23,400, but it's also kind of based on work. It's what 45 hours a month and they do this market. Theoretically, they do it, but between you and me, and if you don't go over the 23,400, they usually don't mess with you. You didn't hear that from me, but theoretically, technically, legally, according to the Palms policy, all the rest of it, if they want to, they can say, okay, did you work over 45 hours for the month? Yes, I did. Okay, what they do is they says, okay, regular CPA, the marketplace price for a CPA per hour is X, and you work 48 hours or 20 hours or whatever the case may be, and therefore we're going to apply that to you, and we're going to say, hey, a regular CPA working that many hours, that's equal to $50,000 a year, and therefore you're over, so you owe us all that money back. Theoretically, they can do that, but they can barely answer the phones. So there's that. You didn't ask me that. So just delete that part I'll delete this part later. So Hunger goes, people are involved. They're a fraud, waste, and a boo. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. But it's interesting. I've taken my office has taken millions and millions and millions of retirement, survivors, spouse benefit claims, and I can remember one attempted fraud in that particular program, which is 90+% of Social Security money going out. It was someone from a foreign country that went to their foreign country and got a fake birth certificate that proved them that showed they're older than they actually are so they can get their full retirement age benefits. And that was the only time we had any fraud on that particular program. In terms of disability, yes, disability, there's fraud on that. But even if we, got rid of half of the people on disability, it's still not going to, move the needle a whole heck of a lot. So thank you for everything you do, Dr. Weir. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, make sure you hit the like button. Yes, please. Greg, with the passage of the Social Security Fairness Act, I will be able to apply as a spouse. I already collect a small amount of Social Security. Do I need to apply for benefits as a spouse? Spousal benefits will be larger. It sounds like you are already receiving spouse benefits and you're probably, subject to the GPO, the government pension offset. So you shouldn't have to do anything unless the spouse you're on is another spouse and you didn't file on another one. Okay, so but if you're on that one, if you're already on the record, you're good. You don't need to file it again because you're already on the record. And then when Social Security gets the actual law written by the lawyer, or actually the politicians, and the politicians give it to the lawyers, and the lawyers put it into, a regulation type of language, then Social Security will have to figure out how they're going to do it. And it's going to take a while. I guarantee it's going to take a while, but it sounds on your particular case, you don't have to do anything. So, my Chris says my drug program, the D program, they call it, was dropped $185 a month for insurance. And they're saying that my drugs are also going to go up, which means that I have an emergency inhaler that costs 300. Yeah, drug prices are crazy. So with Part D, if that's a standalone plan, not sure you're able to change it now. There are some situations, some special enrollment periods that you might be able to do it, but you can reach out to chapter there, and they can see if they can find you a better plan. But yeah, something really needs to be done about drug prices in this country. Dr. Ed, I wonder if Bernie Sanders knows about your channel. I can't wait for your master class. You've helped myself, my husband, and many of our friends and family because I shared your channel. All right, awesome, Robin. Yes, yeah. Bernie Sanders is one of the ones that support raising the cap. Smashing the cap. So the people that was it the 5% of people that make over 176,000, they pay FICA taxes just like the rest of us. 95% schmoes. But yeah, I was kind of disheartened that Bernie Sanders also supported the Social Security Fairness Act, which yeah, so. But I think in his particular state, there were a lot of government workers, so he had to play politics just like, I guess, a politician, right? So yeah. I just called Social Security Administration 2 days ago. Wait time 3 hours and 20 minutes on hold. I have to apply for widow's benefits. My husband passed 12 and a half years ago. Any advice? Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a whole new day for Social Security. Politicians are doing a phenomenal job, and this is their plan to do exactly this. So you just throw up your hands and say, screw Social Security. They're doing a terrible job. What other options do we have? Wall Street? Oh, okay, yeah, give it to them. But I received an email yesterday. Someone said they've got their 401k in a company. I don't know if I should give out the name, but the big company everybody knows, it starts with a V, 401k company, and they said they're on hold with those people longer than Social Security. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. Yeah, so you just have to persevere, and then remember, if you can't get in, you have to, live your life, and you can't sit on the, phone forever. If you can't get in there until February or March or something like that to file for those benefits, remember to tell them, "Hey, I called you. I tried your call all in January," and you show them a picture of your phone. See, I called. I was on hold for 3 hours, so they can protect you, so you won't lose those benefits. But people that don't watch the channel are going to lose that month or 2 months worth of benefits because they don't know. They're going to call, they're going to try to schedule an appointment. They can't get in. They try against the next month, and then they start their benefits that month. They don't know the trick that they can start it in January. But y'all are going to press like and subscribe and share all this so those people get those benefits they really need out there. Guitar James, at the age of 55, I'm curious to know if Social Security will still be available when I reach retirement age. Social Security will always be around as long as people work and pay into FICA. The issue is in 2034, 2035, make it easy here. If we only get 75% of money coming in, then we can only pay 75% out. So if your check is, your normal check is $1,000, you'll get Social Security, but you only get $750. You'll lose the other 25% because right now that other 25% is coming from the Social Security Trust Fund. So last year, $70 billion came out of the Social Security Trust Fund and went into your checks. Some people will say, "Hey, what happened to the trust fund?" Well, look at your direct deposit. There it is right there. $70 billion came out of the trust fund and went into your checks. Billions of dollars this year are being pulled out of the savings, your savings. The Social Security Trust Fund is your savings, and put into your checks. The problem is by 2031, 2032, 2034, depending on what we do in the next year or so, that's it's going to get cut. But Social Security is going to be here forever. In one form or another, whether we decide to keep it with the same system since 1935, or we decide to leave it to Wall Street, and it becomes, you've heard of this thing called Medicare Advantage, right? Private companies, dealing with your health insurance, think of that Social Security advantage. So the same type of, prior authorizations, networks, I guess, and the commissions. Wow, the commissions on that are going to be crazy. For the people that control your Social Security. If you give it over to Wall Street, it's one of those, heads I win, tails you lose type thing. Oh, we made congratulations, your trust fund, your savings. We made a lot of money this year. So congratulations. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to take a whole bunch of commissions because we're so awesome and we invested your money so awesomely and everything like that. And then the next year when they lose money, they can say, "Oh, sorry, y'all lost money. Oh, we're still taking our commissions though. Heads we win, tails you lose." So I recommend don't privatize. That's my 2 cents. But anyway, as my Marine Corps drill instructor used to say, Ed, if I wanted your opinion, I'd beat it out of you. Mona 13, SSDI and SSI are two separate things. SSI is welfare, SSDI, you paid into it, both disability. Yes, 100%. A lot of people are missing programs out there. That's another reason people don't get the benefits they're eligible for, is because they think retirement. Okay, they think Social Security is retirement and Social Security cards. That's it. No, they go and file for the retirement, but they forget, hey, maybe they can also get spouse benefits or survivor benefits, or they file for SSDI and don't realize there's SSI available, and they don't realize there's Medicare and Medicaid and the Medicare Savings Program and the extra help with prescription drugs and the lump sum death benefit and the independently entitled divorced spouse. It's all confusing and there's a lot to it. And so people are unfortunately missing benefits. Ed, IEDS interview 918, and they keep saying I have to check back every 30 days. What can I do? 6 hours waiting time, I call. Okay, so wow, you filed September 18th for the independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. What that is this is a big one that people are missing. Independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. There's so many people out there missing benefits because they think they can't file on a divorced spouse's benefits until that person actually restarts receiving benefits, which is 100% correct. Godmother MS4L knows that that as long as your ex-spouse is at least 62 years old, you can file for benefits on that record. Obviously, you have to start benefits on your own record, and your benefit amount has to be less than half of theirs, but you do not have to wait for them to start receiving benefits. The only time period is that you have to be divorced 2 years. The final divorce had to be 2 years ago. But yeah, you filed September 18th. Yeah, I've done hundreds of thousands of independently entitled divorce claims when I worked at Social Security. They're a little bit difficult, but they take a few days to adjudicate. Yeah, the 918 is way, way, way too long. So you know what the solution is? Go on to your politician's website, because the politicians are the reason you're having to wait, because they're not supporting Social Security, giving Social Security the resources. And as I mentioned, if some miraculous things we made these politicians actually support Social Security, unfortunately, it's not going to happen automatically or immediately. It's not going to happen immediately, because it takes a good year to train a claim specialist, an employee, actually how to do their job, because we're looking at 20,000 pages of policy. I've trained hundreds of employees, and it takes a long time. And even after 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week, for months, usually the training is about 3 or 4 months, but then after that, they're under 100% review. Everything they touch is reviewed 100%. And so unfortunately, if Social Security, your office actually got 10 more employees to help and answer the phones and everything, that would make customer service a little bit worse for the next year until those 10 people got up to speed and learned what they were doing. Unfortunately, what we see happening right now is the few people that they're able to hire, the ones, if they're lucky, if they're able to hire them, they're like, I've got thousands of calls coming in every day, and my boss, and their boss and their boss and is harassing about need to pick up the phone. So they're putting these people that don't know what they're doing on the phones, and people are getting a lot of wrong answers. So super long story short, reach out to your politician, and say, hey, number one, contact Social Security. Tell your politician to contact Social Security and find out what the heck's going on. And number two, say, what are you doing to improve customer service? So, do you have to make an appointment to start Social Security benefits, or can you apply online? Would it be faster? Some people, if you're just looking at a regular old retirement claim, then online definitely is the way to go. A human being still has to, adjudicate that, look at that, and contact you if there's any issues. If you're looking for just a regular spouse benefits, you can do that online. If you're looking for disability benefits, you can do that online. Survivor benefits, you can't. But some people have extenuating circumstances. Their earnings record is incorrect. They don't have internet access. They they again, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So people are saying, oh, okay, in retirement, I can do that online. It's like, and then 3 years later they come back and say, I didn't know I should have filed for survivor benefits instead. I didn't know I should have filed for retirement and disability instead. So yeah. Please put back up okay, the contact thing. Yeah, take a picture of it and put it on your phone, and wherever you got a few minutes. Yeah, reach out to them. And all right, let's see. Yes, the closer you get to 62, the more accurate the estimate is. Oh, okay. Looks like someone is answering somebody else's question. Awesome. We like that. Good community out there. Yeah, so you're probably talking about the Social Security estimate online. Actually, yeah, the closer you get to, 62, 67, or whatever the case may be, the more accurate the online estimate is. Um, and because if you look at your online estimate online and you're 55 years old and you say, hey, when I reach 67, it'll be this. Basically, what the computer system is doing is saying, hey, you earned this much last year and the year before that. And so we kind of estimate that you're probably going to continue to kind of make the same ish going forward. So they project in the future. And so if that number, if your earnings for last year and the year before go up or down or something like that, then that estimate is way, way off. So yeah, but the closer you get, the more accurate it is. Um, Recently approved for SSDI in 2024. How soon should I expect my first CDR? Number one is I wouldn't expect it. I would just go on with your life. But if you really don't want to know what cycle you're on, sometimes they provide it on your decision letter, your approval letter, the award letter. Sometimes they don't, but you can reach out to Social Security and ask them what your rotation is, whether you're going to get theoretically you're going to get a CDR, continuing disability review, every year, 5 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. That's one thing that President Trump did in his prior administration, is that they're going to try to clamp down on people receiving disability, SSI, Medicaid, and one way to do that is to give more CDRs, more continuing disability reviews. So let's see. Are we still alive? Yes, we are still alive. The reason Social Security Trust Fund is in trouble is because because the Democrats have been raiding the trust fund for decades to balance their budgets. No, that is 100% incorrect. The trust fund is still there. Yes, it is in Treasury securities, but people say it's fake money. But it's interesting. Politicians that say that Social Security Trust Fund is fake money. They've been saying this since 1935. It's the same old song and dance, to try to scare people. And you know because what's funny about it is they say, yeah, it's all gone, it's all empty, it's all monopoly money, it's all fake. And then they'll come up like a month or a year later, which is they're doing now, and they're saying, hey, let's give that money to Wall Street. And it's like, wait a second, it's all fake money. Why does Wall Street want fake money? Because it's real money. Yeah. So it's interesting. You can't have it both ways. So the trust fund is still there. It's not stolen. It wasn't given to Ukraine or yeah, that's distraction. Those are politicians trying to distract you, but y'all are smarter than that. I filed for disability on January 2025. When I went online to check the status of my application, it says that a rep started the review and the state DDS was completed August 17. Okay. Yeah, the dates don't, yeah, 2017 or something. Yeah. So, yeah, when you file for disability, that's how it works. You file online, goes to the local Social Security office. They look at it, make sure everything is cool and copacetic, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and then they send it up to Disability Determination Service, who does all the medical things. And then once the medical determinate the part is done, then they send it back to the local office for the final adjudication. So, and right now it's taken 6 to 9 months or so. And the whole thing online about your claim is X% done, 57% done, and all that. I applaud Social Security for making the attempt to join the 21st century and put things like on there. But I equate it to like when you're downloading a program on the internet or something and it says 10% done and 20% done, and all of a sudden it goes to 80% done and it sits at 80% for like an hour and then it goes back to 17% done. And yeah, so it's kind of like that. So it's done. It's done when it's done. There is one big money pot, and it's all about what program gets what amount. So if you give more money to one part, the other part gets cut. Someone is always going to lose. Okay. Widowers. My husband passed in 2007. I am working and plan to work until 70. Would I be eligible to get widows as well? If that benefit, it really depends if you're receiving benefits on your own record. If you're receiving benefits on your own record and and your widow's benefits are more, then I would definitely switch over there. Your widow's benefits aren't increasing anymore. Your widow's benefits stop increasing for most people at their full retirement age. They don't go up anymore. So if your widow's benefits are more, then I would definitely jump on those. Yeah. So can Social Security just stop your check without any notification? I keep calling to make an appointment, but no return call, and I'm broke. What can I do? Yeah. In that particular case, um, there's theoretically, I use theoretically a lot today for some reason. Um, Under the new policy that just started January 6th, interesting date to start of the new policy, you can't go into the local office, you can't walk into it. But the one exception is in your particular case where you're homeless or you need the money or something like that, they're supposed to allow you to go in. But I know when I had my office, we didn't refuse anybody. If you stepped in the door at 4 o'clock, then we helped you that day. But some offices, they do things a little bit different, which I disagree with. And now it's completely different. So please, if you need that money, then go down to your local office and yeah, say, hey, this is a critical issue. I need to pay my rent. I need to pay my electricity, whatever the case may be. And they're supposed to let you in. They're supposed to let you in. But yeah, please reach out to us again and let us know that happens. Because this is a brand new thing that the politicians are pushing on us to keep benefits from us. So let's see. I just retired on Social Security at age 62 due to some arthritis problems, not on disability. My wife have 3 more years to retire from the teachers, CalSTRS. Can I benefit in any way from CalSTRS pen? Yeah, you have to reach out to CalSTRS there. Let's see. I was married 27 years. I submitted my marriage license and divorce papers. Why would they deny me my survivor benefits? Never got remarried. I submitted my marriage and divorce papers. So you submitted the proofs. Why would they deny you survivor benefits? You have to be at least 60 years old and you're not married, so that's not an issue. You can remarry after the age of 60, but it doesn't sound like that's an issue for you. So yeah, if you're at least 60 years old, um, and perhaps your benefits on your own record that you're already receiving are higher, but there are exceptions on that as well. If you're approaching your full retirement age, you can actually stop benefits on your own record to get those delayed retirement credits and switch over to survivor benefits. But a lot of people don't know about that, including Social Security employees. So yeah, I would find out exactly what the reason is they denied you. Um, Remember the marriage license and the divorce decree. Maybe they denied you for lack of evidence because those have to be original documents. Did you submit just a copy or a notarized copy, which doesn't count? It has to be the original documents from the issuing agency. So other than that, if you're 60 and everything, you should have gotten them. I'll be 62 in a few months. Can I ask Social Security to withhold taxes? If so, will it be better my Social Security when I'm 65 since I plan to do early retirement? Thank you for responding. Yes, it's called a W-4V. You can actually call up 800, number, and they can do it they can do it verbally now. That's a change recently. But yeah, it's a W-4V, voluntary tax withholding that, you talk to your tax people and they say, yeah, you're probably gonna have to pay taxes, so if you don't want to do that, reach out to Social Security and have them take 7% or 15% or 22%. I think those are the numbers, the percentages you can do. and yeah, they can withhold that tax for you. And then what people do is they ask me all the time, how many percent should I do? Well, it really depends you and your accountant. But if it turns out, you withheld too much or not enough or something like that, then the following year you just adjust it to where you're in that nice little, little part there. Martin O'Malley is bragging about helping Social Security too. Biden put him in charge of changes. Yeah, Martin O'Malley did. I've went through several Social Security commissioners. I've met most of them, and yeah, he did some good. He did that. Was it Social Security Stat, where you can see what's happening online. With the customer service and stuff like that. He did some good stuff. But yeah, he was hamstrung by politician. He would go up to, you can see it online, C-SPAN and stuff. That's what I do in my spare time because I have no life. I watch, C-SPAN with, the Social Security Commissioner, and the Social Security Commissioner says, "Hey, we need more resources. We need people to answer the phones." And a politician who wants to kill Social Security and says, "Didn't we just give you $100 million last year?" And the response was, "Yeah, but our operating expenses for rent and payroll and everything went up 500 million. So actually, you gave us 400 million." It's kind of like, saying, uh, "Didn't we give you 2.5%, cola this year? Why are you complaining?" It's like, because it's 2.5%. So yeah, and that's going to be part of my master class is how to root out political BS. Pension from Denmark. I have had a reduced U.S. Social Security payment since 2016. Will this change now with the new windfall elimination? Yeah, it doesn't look like they differentiated, windfall elimination provision, based on, working in Texas or working in Denmark. So, but the numbers are still out, and nobody knows the complete details until they come out with the complete details. Um, Let's see. I just caught your live. I was denied any of my survivor benefits because I was a teacher and licensed paramedic. Do I need to make another request for those benefits? Um, yes. So I would do that. If it was relatively recently that you did actually file a claim, and remember, filing a claim is not going into a Social Security office and asking, can I receive, surviving spouse benefits or retirement benefits or whatever the case may be? And the person behind the window says yes or no. That's not a decision. It's not a decision until you actually file a claim and get a decision letter. So something, a piece of paper, or now it's, email, through my Social Security SSA.gov website. But if you didn't do that, and if you didn't do that recently, I would probably I would file a claim to put yourself in the queue, um, which is my favorite word in the U.S. language, in English language. Queue. It's basically queue with four vowels that have no use of being there at all. But anyway, anyway. Everyone go in and give him a like or thumbs up. It helps the channel and gets the word out there to everybody. Yes, see how much we found this young lady $300 a month. Y'all did that because you just press the little like there, or you can join. Click the little join. Yeah, is it the join? Yeah, the little join button there, or contribute. Whatever you can do, appreciate it. Yeah. The Privacy Act assessment, or PIA. No, it's actually the primary insurance amount, the PIA. But anyway, is an analysis of how personally identify. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's no, yeah, that's another PIA. So yeah, like an MBA is Master of Business Administration, but for Social Security, it's monthly benefit amount. So yeah, the PIA is just type in SSA PIA. Yep. Have you talked about overpayments? Yes, I've got a bunch of videos on overpayments. 1,500 watching, only 29 thumbs up. Come on, man. Yes, come on, man. I have a friend, 57. I'm trying. Yeah, we love this. Yes, thumbs up to Sharon, who is looking out for other people around her. I have a friend, 57. I'm trying to help. She's currently receiving SSDI on her earnings. Her husband, 67, recently diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Wow. Is there any benefits that she's entitled to? Okay, this is a good question, Sharon. Thank you for looking out for people around you. So people think that because they're receiving disability benefits that they can't or they shouldn't get benefits on another record. 100% incorrect. So if your friend has disability benefits and she's entitled to spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits, then she can get those benefits. If they're higher, there's calculations that have to be done, but basically what happens is she continues to get her disability, and if there's more money there in the sense of that, that spouse is twice your benefit amount, the difference between that, they are added on top of her disability benefits. And the reason a lot of people don't do that is because of Medicare. They think, well, if I switch to surviving spouse benefits, then my Medicare ends, and I'm only 62, and so my Medicare will end until I reach 65. No, that is incorrect. Your disability will continue, and then you'll get those benefits on top of that. And because your disability continues, then your Medicare will continue. And then if you need help with Medicare, reach out to my partners there. But yes, and it doesn't matter even if her husband, well, in this case, show her that is her current husband. So her current husband has to be receiving benefits. So if her current husband is receiving benefits, then she can file. If it's an ex-husband, then that ex-husband doesn't have to be receiving benefits. They just have to be divorced 2 years. And in terms of the husband, I would definitely, yes. I don't know if he is waiting till 70 to get those delayed retirement credits or whatever the case may be. But and that's maybe he is waiting to collect 70, because he'll get those delayed retirement credits, which will increase her benefit amount by essentially 24%. So yes. Can I voluntarily suspend retirement insurance benefits, cancel SSDI at 67 and 11 months just before fraud to postpone Social Security to earn voluntary delayed retirement credits to get increased Social Security at payments at 70? Yes, you can. And when you do it, you're going to have to fight a little bit because most of Social Security employees don't know about this. Um, so if you're on SSDI, you don't really cancel, because it's kind of automatically canceled your switch from disability to regular retirement benefits. But at that time, a couple of months before you're going to be reaching your full retirement age, um, then contact Social Security and say, "Hey, don't start my retirement benefits. I want to wait, and I want to get those delayed retirement credits." And I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for the reference, and I'm going to put the reference because, again, when you walk into the Social Security office, well, you can't do that anymore. Voluntary DRCs. I'm going to put the policy reference in the uh, the chat down there, and let me go ahead and make it a favorite so it goes to the top there. All right. So yeah, you'll have to take that down there to show the Social Security employee that this thing actually exists. So, all right, we are over an hour, and unfortunately, I got tons of questions, and just not able to get to the rest of them today. Wow, a lot of people. Thank you, Tolly, for the supports. Um, got a support there, and 2GQ4UBB. Thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. So yeah, please like, subscribe, join, become a member, all that kind of good stuff. Y'all have an awesome night. Look out for each other, and I'll be back tomorrow.